How low can Bitcoin go during this broad macroeconomic fear of tariffs and potential economic disaster that we're facing? And what does that really look like? We're going to jump into that. I'm going to show you guys a few articles. You know what? We're just going to try to make sense of things in a super clear way. I've kind of made sense of everything already in past videos, but I feel like we just need these reminders. We need these reminders of all these reasons on why, you know, Bitcoin is in such a good deal right now, but also talking about how low can it potentially go if it were to continue going lower, right? So we're gonna go over that right now. I got a few articles here I kind of want to show you guys to kind of support what I'm trying to say. So we know that right now the S&P closes in correction territory, is down to more tariff threats. There was like that 200 Canadian percent tariffs on like champagne or from France or something like that. But we have a lot of mixed news on Bitcoin. There's like some good stuff, there's some bad stuff. Things are just kind of trying to keep everyone confident. Maybe some of it's trying to create fear. So there's like this back and forth. Nothing's super clear, and that's why we're gonna try to clear things up. But you have a lot more things that are starting to, put itself out there in the public eye. For example, like Trump admin wants to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible. They're gonna increase that reserve. They're all buying Bitcoin. Will Bitcoin price reclaim 95K before the March end? There was actually a very interesting chart they have right here. So they're kind of looking at potentially Bitcoin showing this like smaller fake outbreak of structure, but then has a correction back into a strong support before it pumps up higher. That's just we're gonna look into that a little bit more. And then half of a dozen members of Trump's cabinet hold Bitcoin assets. I don't think any of these guys want to see their Bitcoin holdings fall. I don't think so. I feel like they're probably all working on something in the background. Crypto regulation shifts as Bitcoin eyes 105K amid liquidity boost. And we all know that the amount of volume to the downside from retail traders has been increasing in the last 2 weeks. So the amount of aggressive, just like amount of sell orders that have been accumulating and just adding on to have been decreasing over the last 2 weeks, and it's very interesting. And before we actually take a look at the what how low Bitcoin can really go, let's get another reminder of something similar that we were facing in 2024, right? So in 2024 we were like just over halfway through it, but the this sideways corrective move that lasted a very long time began earlier in the year. This one started in March. Ended up, testing these deep value, these super deep value areas 3 times before breaking out. During this time, there was a lot of fear of a potential like economic disaster, of like interest rates going up and inflation going up, and everyone thought there was gonna be like another some kind of like recession, and we end up just coming out of it as things begin to ease. So right now we're seeing something similar. We're seeing quite a lengthy sideways correction with increasing fears of potential economic disaster. But eventually it will just all ease. And on top of that, this CME gap has been holding very, very strong. So we're kind of seeing like that 3 dip into the deep value area right now. We have like the second dip that was confirmed. The first one being back here. The CME gap is at the white line down here at 77K. So we've seen it get close to it, quick correction, rally upward, and then come back down, retested, this time actually hitting it before starting to trend up higher. But the question is, right, regardless of so far that we've been consolidating for a while, regardless of that, and regardless of Bitcoin being down since the all time high, which it didn't reach this all time high that long ago, really. It was like late January. So it hasn't been that long, but it's down 30% uh, from that high. And in 2024, from the high during that big corrective move into the deep value purple area I was showing you guys, it went down 33%. So we could be seeing something similar to that. We all know that during these bull cycles, especially on the last bullish year of the bull cycle, we tend to see 20 to 30% drops on Bitcoin happen often. But the question is, right, are we seeing something different this time around? Because Yeah, sure, we're down 30%, but like it doesn't mean we have to go up from here, right? If we do go lower, how low can we really go? And we all know there's a pretty strong $73,000 support if the price were to come down here. So 73,000 is right here. This is where Bitcoin began pushing up. It had a strong resistance here, and then later, if I zoom in a little bit more, so strong resistance, and then shortly later ended up using it as a little form of consolidation, a little bit of support before it started breaking up higher. So we do know there's 73K is a pretty strong support area there. But if we go lower, how low can we really go? We can easily go into the low 60s. This is extreme, by the way, very extreme. 73,000 is already we're already very discounted, but 73K will be extremely discounted, that low 70K range. And then if we do go into the 60s, we can try to max this area out. So this area I created by using a fib extension from the moment we had a break of structure. So we were in this sideways consolidation structure. We finally broke out of it here to what ended up being to the downside. And this created a new structure which we're currently trading in. So when factoring in that break of structure, we get this as a potential extreme low. This is super discounted, and it's not extremely like it will come down here. It's possible, but if we do come down, we could potentially max it out. We've seen these red areas being maxed out multiple times in the past. Um, but it's not as likely as it is to continue up from here, just because again, that sell volume has been decreasing in the last 2 weeks quite aggressively. On top of that, you have a lot more institutions buying Bitcoin. There's a lot of hodling going on, and a lot of this Bitcoin has been being bought up. The deep discounted Bitcoin has been bought up, and in order for us to even come down lower, well, first of all, we actually need a sustained break and hold underneath the CME gap. So this white line down here, right? We actually, as we came down lower from up here, we started showing signs that we could come down lower. And then I gave you guys this little fib extension as potential support, the discounted portion acting as the last line of support, and it ended up very nicely, actually, perfectly using the bottom 1.618 as 76.7K as support before pumping up higher. But the question is this going to continue to hold? Well, so far during today's live stream, we were trading up a little bit, and I like created this retracement area from this overall move up as like, hey, if we are gonna hold this and potentially start working our way up a little bit more, we want to find support within this area, and we did. We found support. We started breaking up higher, and we successfully broke over the 120 moving average. If this weakens and we fall back down, then it looked like we're just gonna be forming a little bit of a descending tunnel, kind of down a little bit more. And then the CME gap again is a super strong indication on whether or not we're going to see a more aggressive selling in the short term before we can finally pump up higher. If we can hold this and finally confirm a bullish uptrend, we can be more confident that maybe the low is in and we're actually slowly moving up higher, but we're going to be fluctuating a lot due to, again, fear in the market. But if we were to consider what can we use as confirmation, right? It will be from the low to the top, so far the top as we have it, and then so far the bottom of this channel, which is right there. So, or the bottom of the structure, which was right here where we found the support. So at that point, in order for us to have, due to again the extreme selling and the current fluctuations we have to work with, in order for us to have a confirmation of a potential actual sustainable bullish uptrend being formed, we want to see the price come into this area. This green area, if we can hold it, will confirm a few things. It will confirm that the price has enough momentum to break past the 87.6 line right here. It will have enough momentum to break past these 1 week liquidities, 84.6K and 87K. If we can break through that, we have enough bullish momentum. There's enough buying where we can easily go up into this green area, try to consolidate in it as we continue to form more bullish pressure. If we don't do that and instead we get rejected at any point before, we can easily look for a potential, more consolidation, maybe a little bit more of a sideways channel, more sideways consolidation before we can build up that momentum and break up higher into the 90s. But to the downside, if we were to go down, we want to see the CME gap being broken and being how do you say like held successfully, more sustainably hold underneath it. Because right here, this was just 2 wicks. We didn't have much trading happening down there. Most of it happened up here, so that wasn't sustainably holding under it. So instead, of course, it acted as a, a strong bullish pressure retracement, holding as strong resistance once again as we broke down below this previous swing low. So if we were to end up going down and actually hold underneath that CME gap, what we're looking for is potentially trading within this red area. We can go as low as the low 60s, so like 61,000 or so. But 73,000, we know 73,000 is a pretty strong support as of right now. That's also in the premium section of this. We can see a little bit of a dip into it, a little bit of consolidation before we end up pushing higher. But I would be very cautious to not accumulate too aggressively within the premium section of this red, because if we have enough momentum to break into it, we could potentially build enough momentum to continue trying to push down lower into this area. So I'll be very, very cautious, in my opinion, with how aggressive you want to accumulate or open any positions in that red area as of right now, because we don't have a bullish uptrend confirmed as of yet. We need to wait to see if we are going to go ahead and try to retest the CME gap, or if we are going to start pushing past these liquidity walls right here. And these change daily, so tomorrow they're probably going to look a little bit differently. But as we need confirmation if it's going to hold the CME gap or break below it, or of course, if we're going to break past these liquidation walls or get rejected by it. If we don't get rejected by these, then easily we can be up into this green area to try to confirm a bullish uptrend, which can confirm more bullish pressure to finally potentially be more confident if we're going to confirm a bottom to be in or not. So this is the moment where we gotta wait. We gotta wait to see what happens. I know tomorrow night there's a deadline for U.S. government shutdown. If we'll see how that goes. But again, yeah, it's very important to be patient, because we may get, it's important to always have exposure to Bitcoin right now, because we are very much discounted. If we go lower, you want to make sure you have that capital to be able to accumulate at discounts. But if we start breaking up higher and actually confirm a bullish uptrend, then it's a good thing you had exposure, right? So yeah, that's basically my opinion on Bitcoin right now. I'll keep you guys updated on this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.